Hi year ones, how are you? So today we're going to learn all about money. So we are going to get better at recognizing coins, sorting coins and learning how much each coin is worth. Okay, you can get a big handful of coins from your mum and dad's purse. Obviously mums and dads, with the current coronavirus, you might want to make sure that these coins have had a little bit of a wash before you let your child play with them. So what you need for this activity is a great big handful of coins, as many as you can get your hands on. Don't worry if you don't have all of the coins. I have literally searched the house trying to find a 10p for the last 20 minutes before I finally found one, so I feel you. So you need a handful of coins, and if you could have something else, so either a handful of buttons, a handful of Lego pieces, a handful of sweets, something else so we can compare amounts, so we can learn a bit of number sense. Okay? If you have notes as well, then you are richer than I am, because I definitely do not have a 5, a 10, a 20 or a £50 note in my house. But if you do, brilliant, get that, and all the activities that I do with coins, you can then reapply and do with notes. Brilliant, let's get started. Okay, so I am starting off with a handful of buttons and a handful of coins. So to begin with, I don't need my buttons, I'm just going to look at coins. Activity number 1 is a simple sorting activity. So can your child just play with those coins and put them into groups? Okay, so can you put them into groups where they are the same colour? So can your child identify all of the bronze coins? You may need to discuss why some of them are bronze, but they look slightly different colours because of how old they are and how much they've been used. So activity number 1, sorting. Can you maybe sort all the silver ones? Some of them look like they're different shapes, even though they're the same colour. We'll have a look at that later. What about these ones? These ones that are a mixture. They are gold and silver. Can you sort those ones? Again, look, we've got some that are bigger and different shapes than others. We've got some that look the same, but the colour's gone a little bit weird. Okay, so activity number 1, can you sort your coins by colour? Number 2, so we're still just looking at the coins and taking a close look at them. So next, can you sort your coins by size? So can you put the small ones together? These ones are both pretty small, but these ones are pretty big, and this one is somewhere in the middle. Okay, can you sort your handful of coins by size? Okay, activity number 3, we're still just looking at our coins. So activity number 3 is, can you sort your coins by shape? So can you get all of the circular ones together? What about some of these that have edges? Can you count the edges very, very carefully? This one has 7 sides. Okay, so does this one, even though it's a different size. Okay, how about this one? If you look very closely, this one does have sides, straight edges. There are just lots of them. Can you count them and find out how many there are? It's tricky, that one. Belongs on its own. Oh, this one. It's a really big one, but it's round. Looks different, doesn't it? Okay, so activity number 3, can you sort the coins by shape? Okay, activity number 4, so we're going to start looking a little bit closer at these coins and then naming them. So can you still sort your coins, but this time can you sort them according to the number that you find on it? So it might be a number word, like this one that says 1 penny. Okay, or it might be an actual digit, like this one, it's got a 2. Okay, can you sort them? So can you put all of the ones that have the number 1 on it together? And what about all of the ones that have a number 2? Or the ones that have a 5? The ones that have a 10? The ones that have a 20? The ones that have a 50? And then, this one also has a 1 on it. But as you sort it, you might notice that maybe it doesn't belong in that pile. Maybe it is different to all of the rest. Maybe you could have a think about why it's different to all of the rest. Okay, and this one as well has got a 2 on it, but it looks different to the other ones that have a 2. I wonder why. Okay, so activity 4, can you sort them according to the numbers that they have on them? Okay, activity number 6. Now that we've looked really closely at our coins, we are ready to just start naming them. So to pick up a coin and say this is a 1p. Pick up the next one, this is a 2p. Okay, and you can use 1 pence and 2 pence, so you can use the word p or pence and change it up and just get used to that. 1p, 2p, 1 pence, 2 pence that we use in language all the time. Okay, 5 pence, 10 pence, 20 pence, 50 pence, and then these ones. Now, to help me remember that these ones are the big important ones, I remember that they have gold around the edge. So that helps me to remember that these are not pence. These are pound coins. And it says on it that's a £2 and it says on it that that's a £1. Okay, so just practice naming them, keep repeating it, flashing them up and just naming. Okay, activity 7. We're going to start looking at how much each coin is worth. So if you can get 1 of each coin and place them into a bit of a ladder line going down your table. And all I want you to do is use your something else to build up a representation of the value of each coin. Okay, so for a 1p, you're going to get 1. For a 2p, you're going to get 2. Now, if you can support your child as you do this to do it very neatly, okay, because if your child is not laying it out neatly, then it isn't quite as visually clear which one is worth more. So if your child is spreading out your buttons like this, then obviously you can't really see the difference between a 2 pence and a 5 pence. So encourage them and support them to lay them out really neatly. You're going to carry this all the way on, and by the time you get to 50 pence you may have run out of buttons, but just keep going. You could maybe use a bingo dobber or a pen to create that nice long line. Okay, when you get to £1, do you think you could find out how many pennies make £1? Because it's interesting, isn't it? We stop saying pennies at that point, we start to say pound. Why do you think we start to group that many pennies into a pound rather than this many pennies into a pound? Has it got something to do with how big that amount is? Okay, and the same with £2. How many pennies is in £2? Okay, so activity 7 is building up that visual demonstration of the value of each coin. Okay, activity 8 is to play a game of swaps. So keep your visual representation by the side of you, so that you can refer back to it. But it's now time to play swaps with your child. Right, so you can select a coin, keep it to the lower end to begin with, and you need to swap with your child. So can your child make that amount? Can they do it without using the same coin as you though? Okay, so they need to make a 2p. How can they make it? Well, hopefully with a little bit of encouragement to look at that visual reference, they can realise that, well, that's 1p. Maybe if I got 2 of those, would that make the same amount? And if you need to, always relying on those practical things to just demonstrate that value again. So I have 2p. Do you have 2p? Let's just double check. Do we have the same amount? Oh, yes, we do. It's just using different coins. So will I swap you? Yes, I'm going to swap you that. You've done a fair swap. Okay. Now, year 1, they're always going to think that this is more to begin with. So playing a game of swaps is really good to figure out the actual values of the coins, okay? And just keep going. So you started off with a whole coin and they broke it up. Maybe you could do it the other way around now. So you can start off, oh, let's be mean. You can start off with a whole coin, broken up coin, and can they find the whole coin that you've made there? So again, can they get that practical just to check? 2, 3, 4, 5. What whole coin is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 5p. What coin is a 5p? That one. Let me grab one. Brilliant. Is that a fair swap? Ooh. And for a year one, that really doesn't look fair. But if you keep referring back to those visuals for 5p and 5, then keep playing swaps until they can quickly flip between that and they've really solidified the value of those coins. Okay, good luck. It's definitely a really, really tricky step. Okay, activity 9. If your child is really, really confident with activity 8, then it's time to go on to activity 9, which is to do some adding of amounts, which is a little bit of what you just did, but now we're thinking about it in terms of an addition sentence and using number sentences as we go. So you could make an amount for your child to add together. So I have a 5 pence and a 2 pence. Can you figure out what that total is? So 5 pence add 2 pence equals what? Okay, you might need to continue with those buttons to figure it out. So getting your 5 and getting your 2. And what does that make altogether? 5p plus 2p makes, push it together, 7 pence altogether. Can you record that as a number sentence? Can you remember to put a p next to your number? So your number 5 needs a p next to it, and your number 2 needs a p next to it in this addition sentence, so that I can see that you are adding money and that you're not adding sausages, you're not adding bananas, you're not adding tangerines, you're adding money. And that p, that pence sign, tells me that. 5p plus 2p equals 7p. Okay, have fun adding with your coins. Okay, activity 10. It's time to get super duper tricky and do some taking away. All right, so if I go into the shop with my 10 pence, and I have just represented my 10 pence there, and I went to the shop and I bought myself a chocolate bar that cost 5 pence, how much change would I get? So in terms of writing a number sentence, you're doing 10p, take away 5p, and we're trying to figure out what that equals. Now, encourage your child to do that practically. So there's your 10p, and the shopkeeper is going to take 5p. Okay, he's going to take 5p from me. What does that leave me with? Oh, 5. So this isn't the right coin. The shopkeeper is not going to give me this coin back. He's going to give me 5p. He's going to give me a 5 pence. Oh, that's a 1 pence. A 5 pence back. Okay, so 10p, take away 5p, equals 5 pence change. Okay, and can you remember to use that pence sign? Or what about if you're working with pounds? Can you remember to use that pound sign as well, so that I know that you are adding and taking away using money? Okay, good luck.